So Chairman Halford, thanks for being here. And can you just tell us a little bit about your background and where you grew up, what kind of work you did?
Well, I grew up right in District 79. In fact, I grew up on the north end of Gibson County. I actually live more toward the south end of Gibson County now. So, but I've been in Gibson County most all of my life, except for the time I was in the Air Force and some other few times. But not the biggest part of my life has been spent in Gibson County.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where all of my folks are from, and it's a good place to live.
Excellent. What's kind of some of the things going on in your district? What kind of industries are most prominent? What issues are people there most interested in?
Well, of course, it has always been jobs,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And right now we are in the midst of a huge growth right now. We have just gotten a very large Tyson Foods facility up and operating, about 2,000 employees overall, and so they're still hiring employees now. So that's a great project. It was a large project for us. It was something like $400 million investment. Tyson Foods. It was their first ever from the ground up plant that they had ever built, and Tyson Foods has been around a long, long time. So we were pleased with that, and it's been great. Right across the street, FedEx is building a new facility. They had like a 30,000 square foot warehouse and distribution center and that kind of thing. They're going to a 300,000 facility now. So and with the advent of Ford and Blue Oval City, you know, that's close enough to me to make an impact in Gibson County and even in Carroll County. You know, so we're looking forward to those. So all of those things are in progress and are moving along, and so they're moving dirt right now in the FedEx complex, and hope to be doing the same thing in with the Ford company thing before very, very long. So that's pretty well what's going on in our district. Every place you go down the street, there's a sign that says we're hiring. So, you know, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So it was kind of strange. I've told this several times, but I would have constituents when I was first elected that said, what we need are some good jobs right here. Well, by George, we got some, and now they want to say, where are we going to get all the people from, you know, to work in those places? So, you know, it's kind of strange, you know. So.
Kind of ironic how that works, isn't
Yeah.
When you decided to run for office back in, I guess would have been 2008, was there a particular issue that made you want to run, or what was kind of your idea behind running?
Actually, I was drafted. I was recruited. I was on county commission at the time, and I chaired the EMS committee, and Chris Crider held this seat before me. You probably remember Chris. And his wife was county attorney, and I got to know Chris through that process. And when he decided not to run, then he thought it would be a good idea for me to run. So we came to an agreement, and it's been a great experience. You know, it's been a great privilege and an honor to represent District 79 in the House of Representatives.
Have you seen a lot of change over the years in kind of the issues that tend to be the most prominent, either in your committee or just in general? Or is it always kind of the same?
Well, to some degree, it's the same because we have certain rules we have to go by, of course. But every session is some different, especially in an election year when you get new folks in. You know, when I came in 2008, when I was elected in November 2008, took office in January of 2009, I was the 50th member to come in on the Republican side, and because it had always been Democratic run for 150 years. And so that was a big happening for me then, you know, and for the party then. So that's a pretty exciting time. But as we go along, of course, I'm pretty old. I'm older than Richard. So I've seen a good bit of change, you know, and the crowd's it's different somewhat, you know. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We don't need to be in the same old rut all the time. That's why I'm going to go back to Dyer. So it's time for somebody else to enjoy this.
Well, on that note, what have been your core principles in serving as chair?
Fairness. fairness. I mean, to be fair, I want everybody to have their say, and I'm going to give them that opportunity. And well, of course, unless they get out of bounds, or something like that, we do have rules, and we do have to go by those rules. But fairness, I think, is the hallmark of any chairman. That's what he should be about. It's difficult for a chairman to get too involved in the bills because you're always refereeing, to see who's wanting to speak next and things like that. And thank goodness I have good staff. I have a good research analyst, and you can't keep up with these things if you don't have, better than your staff. So I'm fortunate to have good staff.
And in my experience working with you, you've always been fair and very, very good, great to work with. So we appreciate that so much.
Thank you.
Similarly, obviously fairness would be an essential skill for the next committee chair. Are there any other essential skill you think the next chair should have?
Well, I guess you should have some background in being in charge of something like that. I guess that would be a real plus. Yeah. Because you don't get a whole lot of that in the legislature. They just kind of take you like this and throw you in, and see who comes to the top.
You mean they don't train you up for that?
So,
what issues do you think are going to be prevalent in this year's committee?
I don't really know. We just heard today in chairman's meeting that for the whole 2-year session, there have been like 2,800, 2,900 bills filed overall. I think there's about 1,250 filed this year, this particular year of a session. So I really haven't seen those yet, but I've seen some that I get in emails that seem very, very interesting. So we'll see how that works out, and how some of those, how far they get along in the order of things. So.
I know so far we've done a lot of talking about landfills in the committee.
Yeah.
Which obviously is a big issue, especially in particular parts of the
some
state.
TWRA issues, because TWRA reports to us, and so some of those issues like duck hunting and things like that. And I have stayed away from that. I'm not a duck hunter, so I've let the guys that do that handle that for me. So thank goodness they've done a good job.
Well, what do you think you're going to miss most?
I'll miss the camaraderie. This is kind of like when I was in boot camp. I'll go back that far, because I made friends in boot camp that I still remember today, and I was in boot camp in 1965. So this is the same way. I've got friends there that I'm going to remember for a long time. May or may not be able to keep in touch with them, but hopefully I can. But that's what I'll miss. That's what I'll miss.
What are you most looking forward to? I guess not having as full of a schedule, but.
Well, I guess I will be on my own schedule instead of everybody else's. So that's important. My wife is tired of me being at home half the time and coming in, and she's got to get 5 or 6 shirts ready and all that kind of stuff, on a short notice, and so it may be more of a relief to her than it is to me. But anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do. I may do something. I may not do anything. I don't know, but I'll probably do something. But.
Well, we will look forward to seeing what's in store for you. And if anybody has any questions for the chairman before we wrap up with him, feel free to unmute or put it in the chat, and Carrington can read those. But we just appreciate your service over the years, and you've been a good friend to the chamber, and so we've enjoyed working with you, and we just wish you the best in your next adventure, whatever that might be.